Hey everyone, Bianca LotusTheoryDesigns. Today we're going to talk about how I took this vanity and turned it into this. Let the games begin with prep. To start, I noticed that I had a drawer that was knocking on the frame of the piece when I tried to push it in. Though this is to be expected with an antique piece, I decided to go ahead and fix it. I am using a couple of paint sticks that I cut down to size as shims to raise the left side of the drawer. Before securing my shims, I test the drawer to make sure it is no longer going to knock. I put a generous amount of wood glue onto the bottom side of the shims and I put them in place. I was still getting a hair of knocking, and so I decided to grab my sander and using 80 grit sandpaper, I shaved off a little bit of the frame. This time when I slide the drawer in, it no longer knocks. After fixing the drawer, I cleaned the piece with White Lightning and gave it a sanding with 220 grit sandpaper, and then I get to move on to adding my appliques using WoodUbend Mouldings. WoodUbend Mouldings are bendable wood appliques that are flexible when heated. I secured them to my piece also using wood glue, and then I went ahead and added 2 coats of Dixie Belle's Gray Boss. Next, I create a custom purple color using Dixie Belle's Aubergine and Barn Red. For this recipe, the base is going to be heavily focused on the aubergine. I add bits of Barn Red until the color is to my liking. You'll notice I have a sample stick that I am using to compare my color to. When mixing colors, it's a good idea to mix just a little bit of paint on a sample stick rather than committing to full 16-ounce jars. This way you don't waste paint and you get the color that you are going for. Because I like to spray my base coats, I am adding water to my mixture. I stir it up really well and check the consistency. It should be runny like a cake batter. Once my consistency is right, I spray 2 coats of the custom purple on the base. For my finish, I generously stipple on 3 colors, that custom purple, lucky lavender, and muscadine wine. I am using Dixie Belle's synthetic mini brush, which is being shared between all 3 colors. Here's where it gets interesting. I purchased this tool called a Woolie off Amazon. It is a thick nap, natural sheepskin, glazing and faux finishing tool. While my paint is still wet, I tap this tool onto the paint to blend it in. If I find that my paint is getting a little bit too dry, I just mist it with a little bit of water and continue to tap until the blend is where I want it. This technique is giving me that grungy look that I love so much, as well as giving me a bit of texture. A few tips for this technique would be to not overwork your paint. You don't want it to turn to mud, and to work in small, manageable sections. If you do end up overworking the paint or it is not to your liking, just let it dry and go back over it again. The great thing about this Woolie tool is that it made the process a lot faster. I am able to cover way more area at one time using this tool rather than using brushes to stipple. I completed my finish and decided to go back in and add a little bit more of that Muscadine wine. Muscadine wine is the reddish color that you see, and I am putting it in the areas that I feel it needs and using that Woolie tool to tap it in. With my base complete, it is almost time to hand paint some flowers. Behind where my flowers will go, I am adding a little bit of sunshine using Terracotta, which is one of Dixie Belle's orange shades. I put a tiny bit of this color onto my brush, wiped the excess off onto a plate, and am now dry brushing it onto the piece. Okay, so before we talk about the flowers, let's talk about how I am loading my brush. I lay 2 colors down, in this case green and blue, onto a plate side by side. I dip my brush where the 2 paints meet, therefore loading each side of the brush with an individual color. Got it? Let's paint some flowers. I begin by using the tip of my brush to create a stem for the leaves. I am leaving this portion in the video to show you, oops, I don't always have it all together and oftentimes make mistakes. No big deal, I just wiped it off with a clean rag and I am starting over. This time, I opted for a smaller brush, which is working better for my stem. Once said stem is in place, I am able to start creating leaves. I am using that same brush, also dual loaded, and starting at the tip of the leaf, I press down and add 2 strokes for each side of the leaves. For each side of the leaf, I am sure to give a little bit of pressure to my brush and curve it out so that my leaves have a nice shape. Once I had a couple of leaves in place, I began to paint some flowers. Using a very similar technique as I did for the leaves, as well as 2 different colors, in this case yellow and white, I take it petal by petal, starting my brush at one side of the petal and wrapping it around until my petal is complete. Keep an eye on how I am holding my brush as well as the direction it is going. Note, I load my brush with fresh paint between every petal. By no means am I an expert at hand painting. Actually, I'm quite new to the art. However, I can say that I am an expert at practicing and trusting the process. My hand painting seems to get better every time I try it. And that takes me to my word of encouragement for you today. Continue the process and keep trying until it's to your liking. If you make a mistake, it's just paint, you can cover it up. Practice makes perfect. So while I was talking, did you notice that this flower was taking on a bit of a different color than the first? To achieve this, all I did was dip my brush in the same colors but flipped my brush so that my next flower is inverted from the previous. I continue making flowers, this time changing my color from yellow and white to white and pink. Notice my petals are a bit smaller this time. Since no 2 things in nature are the same, it makes sense to me to have different size flowers rather than all being uniform. After this 3rd flower, I do add a 4th, and this time, much like I did with the yellow flowers, I invert my brush so that the pink is on the outside rather than the in. I decide to add a couple more leaves to complete my design. Almost done. I dip the end of a paintbrush into a little bit of terracotta and using that dipped paintbrush, paint in some centers for my flowers. Using Dixie Belle's Caviar, which is their deepest shade of black, I am painting the legs. You'll see why later. After taking a step back and assessing my piece, I decide to go ahead and add more of that Muscadine Wine, this time in the form of shading. Using a dry brush technique, I load a little bit of Muscadine Wine onto a chip brush, wipe the excess off onto a plate, and I'm dry brushing it into the details. I carry this throughout the piece in entirety. After sealing my piece with Dixie Belle's Satin Clear Coat, I add copper gilding wax to the piece. Gilding wax is oil-based, so you always want to do this last. I put just a little bit of the gilding wax onto my brush, and again, wiping the excess off, am now applying it to the details of the piece, starting with this WoodUbend Applique. Watch as I continue adding gilding wax to all of the details on the piece. Remember earlier when I painted the legs black? Well, this is why. Using a chip brush, I am feathering on a little bit of that gilding wax. I am careful not to overload my brush or brush it on too heavy, as I want it to have more of an aged look rather than full copper. The black base on the legs really makes the copper pop. Moving up the piece, I add copper to the ribbon-like WoodUbend Mouldings that I added. I am using the same chip brush that I used on the legs, and using the same technique am lightly dusting on a little bit of copper. It is worth noting that I am not adding much pressure because I don't want to fill in the details with the copper so much as just have the copper on the outside. I spruce up the original hardware by cleaning it, painting it black with a rattle can, and then dusting the copper onto the hardware. Again, I am applying light pressure because I do not want to fill in the hardware completely. I still want some of that black to show through. And I took a step back and said, you know what, this still needs more copper. Using that same chip brush, I'm using the side of it to lightly brush along the edges of the piece. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, again, light pressure. My goal here is to highlight and not fill in. For the mirror, I repeat the exact same process as I did for the vanity base. Watch as I quickly take you through the mirror process. So much for watching. I'm so glad that you did. If you learned something today, please use the links in the description to make your purchase for these amazing products. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you guys next time.